So welcome back to those of you who were with us earlier. This is another ESEA European Invite League cast with myself, Richard Lewis, that's the editor of cadred.org, and of course ably assisted on my right by Josh Steele and Nissan. How's it going?
It's pretty good. Haven't seen you for an hour. Hope you had a nice break.
I did. I managed to chomp down a few slices of pizza and, you know, just general
nice.
Top of the energy levels. So.
The cadred diet, I call it.
Yeah. Well, I've been hustling hard all day because we're actually after this cast we're about to announce that we're hosting an event in Vienna, which is our second one after we did the event in Prague. So I've been finalising that today.
Nice.
So I've been a busy little beaver, and then I spend my evenings doing this, so I'm obviously a really cool guy. Anyway, right, this is the main event. As I said, this is going to be VeryGames versus Virtus Pro, and it's a very special occasion because, as most of you will know, that the legendary player RPK from VeryGames, this is going to be his last match, so I'm told, his last competitive game for VeryGames, and he's served them well. He's been part of VeryGames for a long time, about 4.5 years, I think, with a brief stint in Nameless when KRL, their former captain, got kicked. But certainly, he's got one of the longest achievement lists in Counter-Strike Source history, and certainly it's still been pretty impressive in CS:GO with all the silver medals, just non-gold. He won't be attending the LAN. They have got a replacement lined up, I'm told, in the form of Scream, but he's going to want to go out on a high, so pay particular attention to RPK. I'm sure that we will be doing that with our cameras. So let's have a little talk about the teams. First, the unknown quantity, Virtus Pro. I was talking a little bit in the previous cast just about how they've got some very experienced players like Adren and Fox. Do you know much about them? Have you had a chance to see them play?
I've only had a chance to see them play at SLTV, as well as by playing against them in a couple of online practices, and they looked to be fairly strong. I think they had a lot of close games against ESC, but also a lot of just blowouts by ESC, so yeah. A little bit inconsistent in their results, but definitely not to be completely just marked off here. They will put up a fight, and I do see this being relatively close. I don't see VeryGames taking this too easily by any means.
Yeah, well, I want to get involved. I said again in the previous cast how I don't really consider STL to have been like a real LAN almost. The conditions weren't particularly great for a lot of players. There were some freak results, and I think because the production values were so high, it gave them that license. Players kind of didn't want to say anything bad about them, and you know, it was a nice venue, and it was, you know, kind of a nice event in a nice part of the world and whatnot. But ultimately, the actual infrastructure of the tournament itself, the PCs people playing on, etc., weren't necessarily conducive to having a nice open tournament. So I'm not going to read too much into their performances out there. So far online, as you said, they've had mixed results, and I just don't see where the kind of players that are going to be able to go head to head with this VeryGames roster are going to come from, really. You know, obviously Fox and Dozy are the people that, you know, probably is going to be the most well known for people who've followed the scene for the last few years. Are they up to the standard of an MBK, an RPK, a Smiths, a Kenny S in CS:GO? I'm going to say no. So anyway, the game's about to go live. Let's quickly get some predictions. I've got this down as 16-8 for VeryGames.
Typically we go and we say you take one team and I'll take the other, but I see this going in the favor of VeryGames as well, but I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be something along the lines of 16-13. VeryGames, strong aimers, RPK, NBK, good aimers, Kenny S as well, but heavily strat reliant as well by existence, I guess, telling everyone what to do, and I don't think that's going to be so prevalent in this map.
Okay, well, much like we've already seen, of course, because it is DE Dust 1. Your eyes do not deceive you. This has been resurrected courtesy of ESEA. So we are going to see this kind of holding pattern that the T's like to take up, and hasn't particularly worked out for them. Fox has got a nice early entry kill, and then Dozie's just gone boom with a little one bullet just to get a nice little headshot there. So VG have already lost 2 in this push. They're trying to get into this underpass area. You can see Smith's doing delayed. MBK is going to get one. Dozie's going to pick up him, though, and another kill. Dozie's going to get another one on Smith. And Existence is going to take down one more, but now on 28 HP in a 1v3 situation. Not really looking too great. Nades coming in. And yeah, he is going to get taken down by Adren. So that is that. And ultimately, it was a bit of an uninspired kind of pistol round, which is pretty much what we've seen on this map so far from all the other teams that have competed on it. It was kind of like, let's have a peek, let's hope we don't get caught by a nade, and see how it happens. Did Virtus Pro do anything tactically astute there?
Actually, I saw a nice flash setup at the start, but just the overall positioning, how they played like a close, tight-knit setup. I really like their setup there, to be honest, but we have seen a 100% success rate for CT pistols tonight.
Well, yeah, definitely. But I mean, I think that would kind of be expected again. You know, like I don't really really like this map. You know, when you've got the guns, like how the map should work, right? If it was going to work like how it used, that's a great shot from Existence, just while it's happening. But how it should work is the T's should have to work really, really hard to get entry picks, and when they do, they should swarm on a bomb site, secure it. Counter-terrorists should have a go at rotating, and typically terrorists shouldn't get more than 5 rounds. That's how it should work. How we've actually been seeing it pan out is terrorists lose the pistol, come back strong in the gun round, because the counter-terrorists play it mega passive for whatever reason, and that's pretty much been the pattern of all the games that we've seen on this map so far. So whether it's going to be any different, I don't know. I think VeryGames will have like some interesting tactics. I think even on a map like this, which is non-competitive, I think a guy like Existence is going to have some aces up the sleeve, so to speak. But you know, wow, yeah, butchery. We are going to see that a lot quicker than I thought, because that round was pretty much over. There's some WASDA W and mouse 1 there from Dozier. So right. This is the all-important first buy round, which should dictate the pace. You can see Kenny S has got that up, which is what we want to see. Kenny S working some entry picks, so we should probably pay particular attention to him. But of course, we shouldn't underestimate the ability of people like RPK and MBK to make entry picks with rifles. So let's see how the strats are lining up. And you see we've got 3 going in the underpass area, 2 going into this A storage area. Then there it is, Kenny S making that entry kill, just nice and fast, takes down Adren. Is going to give him that advantage. Fox hasn't really had time to kind of reposition and kind of counter-AWP Kenny S, if you like. So you can see that they're already out on this bridge area. Kenny S is just spamming away into that smoke. Going to start coming out and just having a little peek into the long area. The entrance to the B bomb site is going to get another one. And then Kutchera is going to take down Existence. Angel is going to get MBK. Kenny S is going to get another one with the AWP. So he's already picked up 3 this round. Smith is going to get the last. RPK is going to mop up the scraps. And you can see there that that's going to make it quite a comprehensive round for VeryGames. And that's pretty much how I see it going. If Kenny S can get into those positions, if he has the right spawn, I think he's going to be the man that's going to make the entry picks. But I also think RPK as well, so good at doing wraparound frags and kind of being in the right place at the right time to make multiple kills, 2 or 3 kills at once. So I just see VeryGames now kind of going to start opening up the map. And yeah, I fully expect them to take this round as well. I don't know how you feel about it.
They should probably have no problem. They should probably have no problem taking this round as well. But we do see Angel only has a scout over at the A bomb site, which isn't going to do.
Why would you even buy a scout? Like, it just seems like
just for the scope, for the long range. I personally wouldn't do it. I'd rather have a FAMAS or just anything else.
Burst fire is going to be, you know, as effective surely, and it's going to do more damage if you get a full connection. Well, as I say that, of course, he actually has just taken out Kenny S. I tell you what, I hate casting sometimes because what I'm saying to me seems sensible. But anyway, so there you go. There's something for a clip. Kenny S. MBK just take him down, but Kenny S was taken out by a scout. And then Kutcher's going to take down 2 with a FAMAS. Dozy is going to take down an RPK. So now MBK is in a 1v3 situation, and I've got to say, Virtus Pro have handled this situation very well. And yeah, MBK, last man standing, is going to take down by Kutcher, who had a great little flurry of kills to turn it round. But probably the key turning point was that scout kill in the end. It took down Kenny S, who was going a little bit aggressive and looking to take out some people on the A bomb site.
Okay, 2 things I need to talk about before I lose my train of thought is, 1, the fact that VeryGames lost the first 3 rounds, then won a round, and then lost right after, means that they're going to have to do a double save here, which is going to be absolutely massive for Virtus Pro. This is going to get them a lot of rounds. They're going to be up probably 6-1 by the end of the round after next. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is how Virtus Pro is playing aggressively here, which is kind of the opposite of what we were seeing earlier with Nexus, for example, who were playing really passively. And that first gun round where Kenny S made the huge 3 pickoffs with the yacht, he basically had Virtus Pro peeking into him. Kenny S didn't have to do anything. He just came up the stairs, he peeked out, and there was a guy just staring at him, and it's just a free kill for him. But that was a nice big Deagle headshot right there by Kenny S. So I think that if Virtus Pro wants to pick up a lot of these rounds, they need to start... They need to not give Kenny S kills, is basically what it comes down to. And I think that other round, when Kutcher... It wasn't Kutcher. Kutcher got 2 FAMAS kills, which was big, but Angel got that scout kill on Kenny S, and I think that was the big difference in the round, and I think that's what... ended up costing VeryGames not just that round, but the following round where they had to eco as well.
So that's what's put us on 5-1 in favour of Virtus Pro here. And you can see that Dozy has got 8 kills, only 2 deaths. Kenny S making another entry frag though. An Existence quickly following that up, so you can see they're doing the damage. If Kenny S can get into those positions, he will gobble up the frags, and Existence has took another kill. So it's on the Danger Man that we were just highlighting, Dozier, who's going to get 1 kill here. That's going to take his tally up to 9. Managed to get the kill with minimal health loss, but of course now VeryGames going to know where he is. They're going to rotate to the other bomb site. They're going to get the plant, and, well, I think he's just going to save this gun. And I am being informed as well that we are getting a little bit more lag on the stream. So I don't know if we want to change comms again, which I think we should probably do quickly at the end of this round, as my suggestion, Josh.
Okay, well, we could definitely do that.
I've pasted the information in your Skype chat. So,
okay.
We'll quickly do that. We will leave the stream running. We're going to try it out and see if it's the comms that causing the problem. So do bear with us. We will be without sound. 2 seconds.
And we're back. Hello?
Yeah, I hope we're back.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, I can hear you more than okay. 1 sec, I'm gonna turn you down.
Is that really loud?
It's pretty loud, but it's better now, and it should be good. Provided
Okay, cool.
that was the actual issue, and it wasn't an issue with the computer or whatever else it may be.
Yeah, well, let's hope not. But yeah, it's well, it could be Twitch, but it might not be. It could be.
It could be the computer, but
got everything set up.
Anyways,
I doubt that. But yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the game. It's now 5 rounds to 2. You can see that already we've got a nice couple of early kills for Virtus Pro. Smiths has got a wraparound kill there, but in the meantime, while he's taking that, Angel's going to take down RPK. Kutcher's going to take down Smiths, and MBK again is going to be in a clutch situation. 1v4 this time. Not too sure if he's going to be able to do anything. Don't seem to see a lot of incredible clutches really in CSGO. He is going to get that 1 kill, but then Kutcher's going to double peek and take him down and make it 6-2 for Virtus Pro. Let's quickly check the frag charts. We were about to do that last time, but the rounds seem to happen so quick, especially with Kenny S when he's got an AWP. And let's have a look in Dozy. It's still top with 11 kills and 4 deaths. It's Existence, someone who's come in for a lot of criticism since the switch to CSGO. And then he's got 6 kills and 8 deaths. He's the top of the charts for VeryGames. So just having a look what VeryGames are going to do now, and it looks like it's going to be an eco round, so I'll give you a little bit of time hopefully to speculate. Are VeryGames being perhaps a little bit too aggressive on Terrorist? Are they playing into Virtus Pro's hands here?
I don't think so, but we also see that the only 2 rounds that VeryGames do have is that Kenny S is making the big pickup kills with the op, and then it's responded by another kill from either Existence or Kenny S making the second kill as well. So I think if VeryGames wants to keep racking up momentum, they need to keep getting these entry picks and keep doing what they've been doing at the start. But I also see them kind of throwing away rounds at the end by Virtus Pro just coming in, getting the trade kills later on, and holding the good, I guess, 3 versus 4, whatever the round comes down to. So what VeryGames needs to do is focus on getting the entry kills and then just taking it easy from there.
Well, it looks like they're about to surrender into an 8-2 deficit because they're ecoing this. And again, I've just had it in my ear, Josh, that apparently you're really, really loud. So you might want to turn yourself down just a touch. But while you're doing that, I think we're about to see some carnage. Existence has got a good pistol called Dozier, though. Absolutely brilliant AK control, and he's just got a 4-man. All of them headshots somehow. And Kutcher mops up the last to deny him the ace. But VeryGames, again, just like lemmings, off the cliff, just went straight into the crosshairs. Didn't seem to care at all. And my prediction already looking horrible because Virtus Pro have got the 8 rounds. Already, and VeryGames really looking out of sorts. Are they crying? Are they upset about RPK retiring so much so that they can not focus on their play? I don't really know what's happening here.
Well, whatever the case may be, if your prediction seems way off, I'm gonna have a tough time as well.
Well, Existence gets an entry frag, and of course we are seeing the VeryGames making the entry frags, but what follows next is usually not as positive. Virtus Pro, though, they've got Angel on only 15 HP and hasn't got a scout this time, so I don't know how effective he's going to be. Kenny S is going to be taken down. He's been the danger man for VeryGames in a lot of ways. He's the man making the entry picks. Kutcher's going to take him down. Fox is going to get MBK. So again, they've turned this entry pick into, you know, an advantage to them, the Virtus Pro guys. So, and you can see Dozy is flashed. If he still makes this kill, wow, I was going to say RPK does get the double, but Dozy was blind for so long there. If he'd actually made that kill, that would have been bad, bad, bad. That would have been evidence for retirement if that had happened. But RPK does get the 2 kills. He's only got 8 HP. It's now a 3v2 advantage for VeryGames. You can see Kutcher is about to get taken down by RPK, who's picked up a cheeky little 3-man this round. And the last man standing is Fox. He's going to get taken down by Existence on the underpass, and now it's 8 rounds to 3. So I'm going to keep the play-by-play running because I imagine Virtus Pro have plenty of money, and I don't mean in the Moscow 5 kind of way. I'm sure it's all legit. We've got VeryGames as well. They're buying up, but has Kenny S gotten enough for an AWP? Because that seems to be one of the crucial factors in this game, and at the moment I can't tell. I'm not too sure if he does. So, but again, it's this standard 3-2 split from VeryGames. This time it's 2 going to the underpass and bridge area, but you can see that while that happens, Virtus Pro have kind of gone aggressive to kind of shut that down. Kutcher's going to get the AWP now. Fox, they've actually gone for a dual AWP sub, so Fox is open as well. Kenny S is going to get an A kill, followed by an AWP kill on Fox. He's going to neutralise that. Angel, in the meantime, picks up a kill on Smith's. RPK down to 12 HP in this 2v2 situation. Absolutely crucial at this stage of the game. And Kenny S is moving out onto that raised kind of catwalk area or ledge or whatever you want to call it. He's managed to just creep across. He's having a look into a bomb site. RPK, though, holds his nerve. That's a great little headshot from him. Didn't take any damage either, so all of a sudden now it's a 2v1 in favour of VeryGames. Kenny S, he's going to miss that shot. It was a tight angle, but that's going to give them the information they need. They're going to get the bomb planted, and they're going to take up some solid positions here. Dozier, though, has been playing incredibly well, and with RPK on low HP, if he can just get off a shot, well, that's what happens when you play against RPK, I guess. He doesn't need health. He just clicks heads, makes the game look easy. So now it's 8 rounds to 4. Again, I think we might see an eco here from Virtus Pro, so that's going to be a good time. Oh no, we're
Force
getting a Farmer's Buy and Auto Shotgun Buy as well. I will quickly move over to your thoughts about are VeryGames now starting to, I don't know, settle the nerves a little bit? Are they playing their rounds a bit smarter?
They're definitely starting to pick up some traction, as we do see a pause going on here. I'm pretty sure it's a pause at least, so that means someone has dropped out. But Kenny S again.
See that you're now not getting involved, Josh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I forgot to hold down my button, but I was talking. Don't worry. I was actually talking. We do see a pause coming off here, but
well, it's just as well, because you would have completely missed the opportunity to...
No. I was talking. I was talking. The stream heard it. You just didn't hear it. I was just saying how VeryGames have... all the rounds have been Existence and Kenny S. They're the two big playmakers, and RPK in the last round also had a decent round. He got a couple of kills at least, but Kenny S picking up the entry kills, Existence with really good positioning as well. That's how they're picking up the rounds, and we see Virtus Pro, they just force everything they can afford. They have $150 maximum right now. They have a Deagle, a Mag 7, Thomas, so these guys are absolutely broke right now. And VeryGames, if they're able to pick up this round, they'll probably pick up the next round as well, which will segue into a very good and strong terrorist half, and it's gonna give them enough.
What's the thinking in kind of going all in at this particular juncture? I mean, like to kind of do a force buy at 8-4. I mean, because that effectively, if it doesn't work out, that is gonna potentially mean you're going to surrender the rest of the rounds in half, right?
What I'm thinking that Virtus Pro will do right here is they know that VeryGames likes doing this underground push, and Existence will flash for MBK to run up the ramp, and then we'll have Kenny S coming up the stairs. I think what Virtus Pro is going to do some sort of push somewhere with at least 3 people, and I don't know if they're going to push through the tunnels through like the main area, and I'll just fly around to it so people on the stream know what I'm talking about, but maybe you don't. If they push in through the tunnel area and get a flank off on VeryGames, the other thing that they might choose to do is to come all the way around, push short, right into the staircase, maybe drop a couple of grenades. They don't actually have any grenades, so they can't do that. They just kind of have to play really close and personal with the Mag 7 with the Deagle, play those Deagle angles. But we'll see in just a few moments here, actually, what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the game is now unpaused, so we're going to see if this force buy does pay off for Virtus Pro at currently 8-4. I see people having a debate about the silencer in CSGO. Maybe we'll get some time to discuss that at the end of the game. But VeryGames have managed to get out of that area that you were highlighting earlier, and Kenny S again with another AWP entry pick. Dozy's just trying to get a kill there, but that isn't going to work out the way he wanted it. Only does minimal damage as well to Smiths, I believe it was, he was facing. So once again, Virtus Pro are going to have to do it with reduced numbers, thanks to that Kenny S entry pick, and you can see that VeryGames are going hard on the B bomb site now, really going for it. Smiths is going to take down Kutcher, so they're going to just run into CT spawn. Kenny S with another AWP kill. And the rotate from Virtus Pro, look who it is, exactly what I was talking about earlier, the wraparound master, RPK getting the back frags. He's going to take down Adrian, he's looking for the other guy, probably didn't realise that Dozier managed to get just out of sight, just as he was appearing. And yet Dozier is wisely going to save this weapon because he's got 34 HP, it's a 1v5 situation. VeryGames have got this round comfortably. And now we're going to see just the full impact of that force buy, because they're going to have one M4 and probably pistols.
See, the thing is, what I was assuming Virtus Pro was going to do on that round was a push, an aggressive push. That makes sense. You have a shotgun, you have a deagle, you're going to push. But we see that the only VeryGames member to die is RPK, and that's when he's chasing down Doja, trying to make sure that Doja couldn't save his weapon. That's the only casualty VeryGames had. So I don't understand the logic of buying the shotgun, buying the deagle, and not actually doing anything with it.
Well, exactly. For me, it would have made a lot more sense to just really, you know, get your economy under control and eco. And we can see that they've just had that pause. And now, of course, the first thing they're going to have to do is have an eco. So, I mean, 8 rounds still healthy for Virtus Pro, though, right, Josh?
It's healthy, yes, but on a counter-terrorist side, after winning pistol round, you want 9 at least rounds on this map, especially because do they have any terrorist tactics?
Well, yeah, exactly. We're going to have to wait and see how that pans out, but that is going to take it to 8-6. Now, what's going to be interesting is that even with that full eco, and yeah, they can afford 1 AWP, 2 AWPs, so yeah, they are going to get a full buy going. That eco is kind of rectified the bank account, so this is going to be a crucial round for both teams, really. I think if VeryGames come back from where they were at 8-2 down and finish the half 8-7, that momentum is certainly going to carry over into the second half and perhaps make my prediction come true, which would be awesome. But Virtus Pro with his dual AWP setup certainly can take this last round. It's all going to depend on whether Kenny S can get those early entry frags again, and that, you know, you cannot underestimate the importance. Existence has made his fair share too, makes another one, removes the experienced Kazakhstani Adrian, and it's a 5v4 advantage again. Smiths is up on that bridge area, just waiting for that smoke to clear. Is someone going to peek him? And he knows he's there. He just caught a glimpse of him as he moves, so they're going to smoke off the entrance now to the B bomb site. Going to quickly rotate to A though. Are they? Smiths is going to go for it once that flash is over. Brilliant headshot from Smiths on Fox, who had an AWP of course, but then Kutcher's going to pick up 2 AWP kills while they're actually rotating to get onto the A bomb site. That's changed the complexion of this round very much so, because now it's a 3v3 situation. Existence is going to get spammed down through the door, so now it's a 3v2 situation in favour of Virtus Pro. And you can see Angel spamming the back of that bomb site. Is he going to be able to get out of here? No, he's not. RPK is going to get the kill. Smiths is going to get another dose. He's going to take down RPK, but Smiths is going to get the last one. And it is indeed 8 rounds to 7 in favour of VeryGames. Josh, what do you make of that half?
Well, I'm just happy that our predictions are actually coming to something that might actually happen. Other thoughts, though, is that huge plays by Kenny S, opening up the rounds most of the time, and I think Virtus Pro did a few mistakes. One of the mistakes was force buying the Mag 7 and the Deagle and not actually doing anything with it. I think that's a huge issue that made them eco for the last round. I think if they had actually done something with that instead, it would have been a lot better. But still, it's not that bad of a half. They got the pistol, which means that they should have had a lot of rounds on CT side, but they still came out on top with 8 rounds instead of 7. So that's pretty good. I guess time will tell. It depends on how Virtus Pro plays out their pistol round, I think. If they win this pistol round, I see them getting at least 5 rounds on their terror side. But if they don't win the pistol, then I think that VeryGames is going to bag it.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to be interested in seeing is what Kenny S is going to do, because what I really want to see happen is what used to happen on this map. And obviously, you know, I know you have to go back to even talk about competitive dust matches, and unfortunately for me, I do go back that far and I do remember them. What I want to see is CT really step up, go to that Crows area, go to that overpass area, and just AWP it aggressively. And I think if Kenny S does that, he's just going to dominate and completely shut off the area of the map that seems to be the one you want to be in if you want to make plays. So we are going to have this pistol round. I think this is crucial, I really do, because Virtus Pro need to break up this VeryGames momentum at the moment. And again, just in case you didn't hear it at the start, this is RPK's last game, so this is his last half of competitive CSGO. Take a long look. He's going to go off to be a mechanic or something similar, maybe a car salesman. It certainly involves cars, whatever he's doing. No, it's true.
I know. George was talking about the statement that he made. It just sounded awkward because of the translation.
My other great love, the car. Anyway, Smith and Existence have absolutely chopped them down here. It is going to be a VeryGames pistol round, no doubt about that at this stage. And you can see Kenny S with the rotate kill in the side. Well, what an ill-advised pistol round that was. They just ran out straight away, and where other teams had been waiting on the terrorist pistol round to wait for those nades to come in, Virtus Pro didn't, and they got absolutely dicked.
Colorful choice of words, but that's exactly what I was talking about in the Nexus versus Curse game, of why Curse sat back in the tunnels and just waited for nades through decoys and stuff. Just because nades are just so powerful on pistol rounds that it's just crushing. And another huge grenade right there, 70 damage on 2 of the Virtus Pro members from Smiths.
And absolutely huge control from Smiths there with the Farmas, and MVK chips in with 2 other Farmas kills. These rounds, you can't end rounds this quickly and expect to win. I know they're effectively pistol rounds and eco rounds, but surely there has to be some form of self-preservation kick in. You have to want to dodge grenades, don't you?
Yes,
I mean, that's
absolutely.
a serious question because, in your professional opinion, it's better to dodge a grenade, right?
Yes, it's better to dodge grenades. That's why you don't want to run through choke points. But you don't really have much of a choice on this map. It is Dust 1, and we're just seeing that Virtus Pro on these eco rounds, they're actually running straight into grenades and losing 70% of their health, not even 20 seconds into the round.
Well, while that happened, there was a couple of impressive pistol kills. Adrian's was nice, but in the end, VeryGames have maintained that momentum. They're now from 8-2 down, they're now 10-8 up, and they have got the bit between their teeth. This first buy round, absolutely vital. And just looking at what Virtus Pro are doing here, it's 5 pistols. 5 rifles, not 5 pistols. God, that would have been terrible. 5 rifles though, and you can see Kenny S. Of course, has got the AWP, the big green gun. So I don't know if Virtus Pro are going to have the penetration to make these entry frags. I guess we're going to find out very soon. Everyone's running towards that favourite choke point area where pretty much 90% of the kills in both games have really taken place. And Virtus Pro a little bit scared to peek here. They've not been as aggressive this time. They're thinking, you know, perhaps we can get some nades of our own going off. But no one's even exchanged a point of health so far into the round, so it's been a stark contrast to the rounds that have gone previously. Just waiting for someone to peek and just give someone an opportunity to get that kill. Virtus Pro now are moving back from that overpass area, and they're going to do some delayed smokes here onto the A bomb site. Now Adrian might have an opportunity to get through. Kenny S doesn't care about smokes, see ya. He's just taking Adrian down. So perhaps they're going to think, you know what, we'll give A bomb site a miss, and they're going to rotate all the way around to B again. And now they've decided, nah, you know what, let's go back to A. So absolutely, it's 6s and 7s here. Doziers is going to get a kill on MBK. RPK is going to answer back. Kutcher and I think it's Fox are going to the other site. Yeah, it is. Fox has got the bomb, so they're looking at the A bomb site, and suddenly it's actually 3v2. Make that 3v1 now in favour for Virtus Pro. Existence, though, is going to hold his nerve. He's going to get 2 headshots. He's not going to clutch this, is he? Not from that position, not with that low HP. No, he isn't. In the end, Kutcher goes from Existence. Probably didn't realise how much time he had. Could have clutched it. Had to reload, took the pistol out instead, and in the end, Virtus Pro win a round that they had no right to win there.
Yeah, and actually, we see this game going a lot differently than the last game. VeryGames is actually smoking off the choke points, and we saw that the major frags that happened in that last round didn't happen until there was about 30 seconds left on the clock. And when you're executing a strat with only 30 seconds left on the clock, you don't give yourself enough time if you lose the bomb or something to pick it up and plant it. So that was very well played by VeryGames, just keeping Virtus Pro back for a long period of time. But in the end, Virtus Pro got the kills that they needed to make it a 3 versus 1.
Right, so while that's been happening, you can see that VeryGames have managed to get on board with this round, and they've took down 3 early kills, make that 4. RPK gets another one, and they've managed to actually win a round that, you know, they looked like they were doing a bit of a gypsy buy at the start of it. Existence managed to get a couple of AWP kills as well, so he's done incredibly well to take it to 11 rounds to 9. And what we haven't done so far is have a look at the frag charts this half. You can see that MBK is top for VeryGames with 6 kills and 1 death, and Kutcher is the top of Virtus Pro on the terrorist side with 4 kills and 4 deaths. Everyone else on this team only has 1 solitary kill. So we're going to keep the play-by-play going. VeryGames looking good. They've only really lost 1 round out of the, well, the last 9, 10. So definitely got the momentum going. Virtus Pro really struggling here, but you can see Kenny S Well, this could be some awesome German clip if they just lined up right for him, but they didn't. In the end, he manages to get no kills. RPK is going to come around. He got one. Smith gets one. MBK gets one. RPK gets another one. Make that a third. And in the end, again, when it comes to the eco rounds, Virtus Pro just like to line up and die, don't they?
That is one way to put it. But I was going to say before that round started, Kenny S, only 3-3 at the moment. What's going on with his op? Is he just not peeking anyone, or is he just not getting his shots?
Well,
What's
I
going
think
on
it's,
with
to be
him?
honest, Virtus Pro haven't really been running towards him. I think they've identified where he is, and they're trying to go to the other, parts.
Yeah, but if we know
which is what you.
if we know anything about Kenny S, it's that he's just gonna push anyways. So
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, typically everyone's been dead before he's even had time to get there, so I don't think we can read too much into it. Certainly where he's positioned, it's Smith's that's actually looking on the overpass area. And it's interesting because VeryGames as well, they're doing a 2-AWP setup, when a lot of the time Virtus Pro aggressively are electing to use rifles, so I just don't see how they're going to expect to make as many entry picks. Kenny S there getting another first frag in the round. Adrian kind of spamming away. Existence going to get another AWP kill for VeryGames. Smith's going to take down Adrian next. All of a sudden it's 4v2. Things looking bad for Virtus Pro. Kutch is trying to do his best to level the odds, but MBK's is going to come round, spray them both down. Going to make it 13 rounds to 9. And I'm going to wonder what that does to the Virtus Pro economy. So I'm going to see what they do here. I've got a feeling it's going to be an eco.
yeah, with only $2,000, $2,500, they are definitely gonna have the eco.
Yeah.
It's just, what do they choose to do with it? Run into grenades and die?
Exactly. Yeah, I think we could well see that happening. I mean, is there anything you can do on an eco, Josh, like to kind of maximize the kind of successes you can have?
You can dodge grenades at the start of the rounds. That's a big help. Then another thing you can do is you can use smokes to isolate off areas. So you can use it where RPK is right now. If you throw smoke there, that just opens up the long hallway. All you have to do is get a nice flash off on Kenny S when he maybe hits a shot, or you lose one person, but you get a nice flash off, you get 4 people out into the site, you kill him, you deal with RPK, who's the fast rotator, and maybe you have a chance at actually salvaging the round. Sort of like what we saw, I believe it was in Nexus, what they were doing against Curse when Nexus was on Terra's side, just getting out the long hallway, sacrificing 1 or 2 players to get out there and get it down to 1 versus 2 type of situation. That's what you can try to do, or you can try going up underground. But against VeryGames, who's playing heavy in Sniper's Nest and heavy on underground and Courtyard, it's really difficult to do that.
And VeryGames has switched it up this round and gone aggressive. MBK getting 2 quick kills with that AK. Kutcher is going to take him down. Dozier as well is going to be there. Kutcher's going to kind of spam away and just looking to take another kill. Adrian's going to use a quick nade. The smoke's been deployed. That's going to obscure their view. Virtus Pro can't really see where VeryGames are right now. And they've got some low HP ones, and they're going to walk straight into the crosshair of Smith, who is going to take him down. RPK is going to get the last kill on Fox as well. So we're at match point. 15 rounds to 9. I'm going to keep the play-by-play going because I've got a feeling I'm going to have been 1 round out, Josh. Again, my awesome predictions. I just know this game so much better than you. It's got.
We predicted the same teams to win, though, so don't get too ahead of yourself. And that round was the 3 versus 2 for Virtus Pro. That could have been a 14 to 10.
Yeah, but it's going to be 16-9, and I said 16-8.
Okay.
So. Anyway, but let's just see. Because Smith's is going to kind of aggressively peek on this overpass. He's going to get a nade in, and he actually is going to get faced. So he's down at 10 HP. But MBK is going to back him up, get a kill on Adrian, who has dropped. Dozy is going to answer back. Existence is going to take him down, though. So Smith is behind that box, and he is going to get taken down by Kutcher, but not before doing some damage. It's now a 2v2 situation, absolutely vital. Kenny S getting the kill on Kutcher. Well, that's been going on. RPK's not going to get out-rifled, certainly not. He's down to just 6 HP, though, and Kenny S has got the ult, but it's all on Angel with 31 HP. No one's typing GG here. Is Angel going to be able to clutch it? He's got the Galil. Certainly they're low HP. It's doable. It can be done. Not with shooting like that, it can't. And for some reason, he seems to think that Oh no!
It's a 1 versus
I
3.
thought it was a.
No, because existence is 1 HP.
He had 1 HP.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I didn't even see that. So yeah, my bad. I totally missed that. I thought existence had long been taken out of the equation, but no, somehow he survived on 1 HP. So yeah, it's not going to happen. RPK is going to get the last kill. It is 16 for 9. I might not be able to tell when people are alive or dead, but I did predict the score more accurately than our expert caster. And VeryGames go marching on, and that result is going to give them 3 wins. From 3, I believe, and that's going to put them up level with Ninjas in Pyjamas. So, very solid performance from VeryGames. Wasn't overly impressed with what I saw from Virtus Pro. Now, in your opinion, can we write them off because, you know, it's dust, it's a bit of a nothing map, people aren't going to have tactics, or do you think we are right to kind of, you know, not be impressed with them?
I was actually disappointed in just the way they worked as a team and in the form of their tactics. They kind of just ran at VeryGames when Virtus Pro was on Terra's side and on Counter Terra's side. Virtus Pro, they just overpeaked, I think. They overextended a little bit too much, and that's where VeryGames picked up the edge on a few of the rounds. Kenny S definitely making a huge impact on the Terra side to pick up the opening kills on Virtus Pro, but Virtus Pro on Pistol, for example, on Terra side, they ran into grenades. The next round, ran into grenades. On their counter Terra side, they bought the Mag 7 and Deagle, and then what did they do? They just sat back and just died 1 by 1. So I'm not impressed with the style that Virtus Pro was implementing, or not implementing, but just I don't agree with the playstyle at all. It's just, it's really random and inconsistent, and I think that's going to cause some problems down the line against more...
Well, the biggest problem as I saw it, Josh, was that here they are on a map where you need to make entry kills to really do anything, perhaps more so than a lot of other maps. You can't really just rush somewhere and force it. And they go 5 rifles. They don't take an AWP. Yet they were using 2 AWPs on the defensive side. You know, I mean, I don't understand the logic there. I mean, can you explain why a team would want to go 5 rifles consistently? Not a financial issue, but actually just a tactic.
It's interesting that you ask me this because we saw VeryGames using 2 AWPs actually, and I don't know why they would opt to use 5 rifles with the strats that they were running, with the tactics that they ran. I understand 5 rifles if they want to do a lot of heavy hitting, fast split type strats, but to have 5 rifles and sit back and try to go rifle versus AWP is suicide. It's a suicide.
I mean, do they have the staff in Virtus Pro? I mean, because, you know, we saw Angel with the scout. I mean, do they lack a, you know, recognized strong AWPer, someone that can go head to head with the best in Europe?
I don't think it's a factor of not having a strong enough AWPer. It's just they blatantly just chose not to do it. We saw Angel picking up the scout on his counter Terra side, and he killed Kenny S, scout versus AWP. So we know that Angel could have picked it up on Terra's side, and we saw that they had the economy for it. I think it was a conscious decision to not use the AWP. And I don't know if that played in their favor or not, but just the style that they played, their Terra side wasn't good for 5 rifles.
So we know what Virtus Pro did wrong. What about what VeryGames did right? Tactically, were they smarter, or are we just looking at individual performances here? For example, Kenny S being able to make an entry frag pretty much consistently for 50% of the rounds.
I think at the beginning of the Terra side, VeryGames did rely on Kenny S and Existence to open up a lot of the rounds for them. But I think later on in the half, we saw RPK doing a little bit of work to collect them some rounds as well. And I think VeryGames won 5 of the rounds, but I think Virtus Pro threw away 2 of those rounds on their counter-terror side, which gave VeryGames the 7 rounds that they had in the first half. On the counter-terror side, VeryGames played it really well. Anytime Kenny S was in trouble at long, RPK was there, turning the corner with his rifle and getting a spray down. We saw Smiths and Existence and NBK over, like, looking at short and underground area. Smiths did a great job with the timing on his grenades. He got nice FAMAS burst spray downs. He did work with his rifle. Existence came over and opted into the staircase. So it was just a lot of teamwork from VeryGames on their counter-terror side, which collected them a lot of the rounds, which was good play from them and impressive play.
Right, so let's move on to the next question. Are VeryGames going to suffer without RPK? I mean, look, we all know that chances are, wink wink, it's going to be Scream who replaces him. So I guess we'll divide this part up into two sections. First, are VeryGames going to miss RPK?
Without a doubt, he's been part of the core lineup for as long as I can remember, at least, and probably a lot longer for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's synonymous with VeryGames. I mean, ever since the French started to dominate CSS, and you have to remember, I mean, that in itself was a fucking oddity when that started happening, because like even like 2006, 2007, around about that time, the French were a joke in CSS. They were just cheats. They dodged lands. You know, you name it. Anything you could say about any Counter-Strike source nation, you said it about the French. They were just, you know, dreadful. Several of the people that went on to be greats had been caught cheating. You know, there was all sorts of scandals about them and blah blah blah, and they were not they were not a respected nation at all. Then these players started to emerge, and you know, people forget that RPK started right at the very, you know, bottom of the food chain, and just got good. I mean, just got unbelievably good. And then since then, he's just been probably the. I mean, I think he lost a little bit of his shine in later years, like 2008 to 2009. RPK was without a doubt the best rifler in the world. He was unstoppable. But yeah, just I think they're going to miss him because as a character, he just never rages. He's calm. He used to clutch for fun. He was, and he's just synonymous with VeryGames' greatness. I think you miss that more than what he actually brings to the server, which is still absolutely formidable.
Well, I like how you bring up just how in 2008, 2009 he was the rifle, but in later years he wasn't. And his spotlight's been taken first by Shoxy, who was actually on his team in 2011 around the ESWC time for a period of several months. But then Shoxy's spotlight's also been taken off of Shoxy and been turned to Scream. And now with Scream being the next like best aimer, French, well actually Belgian superstar, and the rumors of him actually going to VeryGames, this could be probably the best fit. I don't know how they are in terms of personality or in terms of how well they get along with the team or communication, but I know that just from a raw aim standpoint, Scream is like a fresh RPK.
Well, just to put things a little bit into perspective, I know a lot of people have said, now, you know, why don't VeryGames get Shocks back? And it's just been said that it would never happen. The players in the VeryGames lineup have said his attitude just isn't compatible with how they like to carry themselves, and I think it's a massive shame because, you know, I got nothing but respect for all the guys in VeryGames, and I got nothing but respect for Richard. Like, Shox is just you know, an awesome guy and like really funny and a wicked player. I don't think, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and this is no disrespect to Scream, but I just don't think he can fill the shoes of an RPK.
Ooh, that's big.
You know, don't get me wrong, I was there in Prague because obviously it was our event and we ran it, and I was watching him, and he had the highest headshot ratio, headshot percentage of any player there, which includes like Forrest and Get Right, you know, and all these other guys. But and he makes spectacular kills. But what RPK did for so long that not a lot of players can do is even when he was quiet, he was consistently brilliant. He never dropped below a certain standard. You could rely on him. That if the people who were so flamboyant and so aggressive in how they were playing and made 30 frags a half, if they were ever off, you would know that RPK just wouldn't drop below a certain level. That he could take up the slack, and on his day he was unplayable. But he never was bad. He never had a bad game. He never looked awful. Now his Scream, is Scream going to be able to do that? And I just don't think he can.
I think it's fair that you say this, but I also think that MBK is that type of player now. Is that type of player that if the rest of the team's doing poorly, MBK can step it up. Other than that, MBK is that guy that he's the handyman. He can do it all. And I think MBK can successfully fill the void of RPK, and Scream can fill the void of just pure aimer. But I'm going to propose something else. What if there was a team, because I know that Shoxy couldn't be with Existence. I think that's where the issue lies. What if Shoxy, Scream, and KRL made a team? Would it be better than the VeryGames team, let's say the current VeryGames lineup, and it was Shoxy, Scream, KRL, let's just throw in Bistu Fly just because I know that they come as a package, and then what's another really good fifth Frenchman? Maybe someone like Apex or...
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. How do you think toe-to-toe those teams would go? Like, do you think VeryGames would still be the top of the French scene, or do you think that we could see it tipping towards...
Right, the only team that is going to come close to toppling VeryGames at the top of the French scene is going to be one with KRL as the captain. Because what Existence does is he's tactically astute. And is the brains, and he's the guy who he goes out and does all the work. He watches all the demos. He'll stand behind teams that he's got to play at a LAN, film them playing, and make notes about it on his iPad, and then he'll sit down and conduct a meeting with his players, and he's the drill sergeant, right? So he's tactically astute, but it's very easy for you as a player to be like, well, fuck it, man. If he's doing all of this, I've got to at least do a little bit, right? Like if I only am doing 50%, how can I complain? That my captain wants it so much more than me. So that's how he runs his teams. What KRL does, what Existence can't, and what very few people can in the game, he is like the Jose Mourinho of Counter-Strike, man. He'll take a player who is 80% and he'll just boost them up like to 100, like just through motivation. He just is so passionate. He gets you fired up. He knows what to say. He's very good at judging personalities and like, right, does this person need to be encouraged, discouraged? Do I need to shout now? Do I need to, he's incredible, and the way he motivates a team around him, that's what he does that Existence can't. So look, if anyone's going to topple him, what we need is, it's going to be these new nameless guys. I got no doubt about that, by the way. I mean, they may not have all the big names. I know everyone's talking about Imaginary Gaming. I think Imaginary Gaming are hampered by, I hate to say it, Oz Striker. I never rated him as a captain even. So for him to not frag is dreadful. Like the best player in 1.6 for ages was probably that Sixer in the French scene, and Oz Striker's just not that good. And Shocks, I think we're going to see some more roster changes happening in that Imaginary Gaming. Right now, Shocks is a player that deserves to be in a team, perhaps even like you guys, an MTW. It's clear that he's not going to get on a top French ticket anymore for personal reasons. So maybe he needs to look outside of that scene. He speaks perfect English. There's no reason why he couldn't. But certainly, I think that imaginary gaming side are just not going to do anything.
Okay, now let me spin another question. Would the French scene be better off if there was some sort of super anti-VeryGames team that was formed? Like right now we see Imaginary Gaming, we see Nameless, and we see VeryGames. But that's a lot of like top French talent split into 3 teams. If it was condensed into just 2 teams, do you think that they could have a better rivalry going on? Or do you think that the skill gap will remain the same, VeryGames on top, and then followed by the next team, followed by the next team?
I don't think it's healthy for any scene, because obviously my scene is the UK scene, and what I've seen in the UK scene down the years is pretty much how we've had 10 players at the top at any given time, and for years it was literally the same 10. You know, now the names have changed a little bit, but it's the same old shit, and that is that, you know, well, I've fallen out with him now, so I'm going to join this team. I'm not going to give this guy this chance because he's a dick. And what you would just get is iterations of those same 10, 12 players just cropping up in the 2 teams at the top of the scene. And it was something that was reinforced really by CGS when you had the whole Salvo, London Mint kind of rivalry. But it was just, you know, it's never healthy. Like, you're better off in any scene spreading the talent out as far and wide as you can, because then people have to play with new people. And in this, you know, like I just said, when you play with a KRL, he'll get something out of you. He made a lot of the players that we're talking about as established greats now. You know, he helped elevate their game. You know, Existence wasn't always a great captain, a great tactician. Existence used to be the movie frags guy. He used to be the guy that used to play with an AWP, and he would make you a ridiculous shot, or you know, a double kill down mid, or whatever. But he didn't have a brain. He was just massively aggressive. His reinvention to be what he is now is ridiculous. It wouldn't happen in any other area of esports. You know, it hasn't happened. It needs to be talked about more, just the transformation he went through, because he's been so successful as a captain for so long. He was thrust into that role after KRL and VeryGames, you know, after their relationship became fractured, so.
Okay, well, VeryGames and Virtus.pro 16-9. So this, we're talking about earlier, the curse versus toxic thing, and we're seeing if Virtus.pro is going to be included in this top 4 for invite. Safe to say we've ruled Virtus.pro out of the top 4 for the season?
Right. I'm gonna come back to that, because there's one thing I wanted to ask you just before we do move on to talking about anything else. RPK's last game. We know he's retired now. You played against him on numerous occasions. I'm sure you've met him. I certainly know you've talked to him, even though he's quiet. What is your lasting memory of RPK? Have you got a funny story, an anecdote, something you're always going to remember him for?
The thing I'll most remember him for is, I forget which event this was. It might have been ESWC 2011. And he's literally got NBK on one of his knees, and he's got someone else, I think it might have been Existence, on the other knee. And he's just literally, the 3 of them, he's just bobbing his knees up and down. Just, I don't know how to explain it, but just having the 2
a granddad.
Yeah, and he's just bouncing them on his knees. And both at the same time. That's got to be the funniest thing I've ever seen. Just Grandpa RPK. It works out for Grandpa as well, because he's got like some gray hair sprouting in as well. And I just remember that
he had. My lasting memory is probably, right, I remember when was it? Copenhagen Games 2010. The Australian team, Archaic Gaming, came over. And they were, I was doing an interview with them, and this is even before we were doing video interviews on CAD-Red, and I did an interview with a guy, and said to them, you know, what team do you like the look of the most? They answered it by saying, VeryGames always dress up really smart, they always look cool. For example, RPK, he always wears a suit at LAN, and I think he looks very fetching. It's certainly, this is the quote, it's certainly a lot better than being a fat, sweaty mess stinking of balls all LAN, right? That's what they said.
Okay.
Now, because English isn't their native tongue, RPK read that as if to say, RPK is a fat, sweaty mess who smells of balls. Right? So it was unreal, the reaction. Like, everyone was saying, all the French community were like saying, fucking, you know, RPK's a gangster, he's gonna fucking murk you, all of this stuff. And he actually came up to them at the event. I mean, and they're all big guys, because they had a guy called Boomzer, who you probably don't know. He's like one of the, again, he's probably like the equivalent of like a KRL or an Existence in Australia, and he's a big guy. And they had this fucking stare down, and no one even knew what it was about, because RPK couldn't really express it, and I had to like kind of come in and explain that the Australians didn't mean anything by it. It was like real fucking awkward. But man, I've never seen him get emotional about anything, but when he thought someone was accusing him of smelling like balls, he certainly had a bit of a temper about him. So that's going to be my lasting memory of RPK when the beast was uncaged temporarily.
Such a beautiful story.
I know, a beautiful story, and it's got the words "smells like balls" in it. So, what could be better?
Smells like balls.
Right, right. So, but honestly, just to put a full stop on the end of that sentence, like I've seen him at loads of LANs. He's such a friendly guy. He's always made time for me, made time for Cadred. And you never heard anything bad about him. He just got on with the business of playing. So the scene is definitely gonna miss him. Definitely gonna miss him. Right. So let's look at the ESEA League standings.
Let's do it.
So we want to talk about how we see it going, don't we? And we've been talking about who's going to get this 4th spot. Let's talk a little bit about VeryGames. I mean, are they still good for 2nd, right?
VeryGames, yeah, they're looking pretty strong. Where are they, 3-0 now? Yeah, 3-0. And they're a step ahead of ESC. ESC already has a loss. Let's see if I can get this on the monitor as well, just so all the people on the stream can actually see this as well. But yeah, it's looking very good for VeryGames.
I mean, I think everyone's going to expect them to go. I think they're expecting them to go. And you don't think that these roster changes are going to impact on them at all, right? I mean, they're not going to lose momentum.
Oh, probably not. I mean, what you were saying earlier about Scream not fitting in as well as RPK, do you not see this affecting them at all?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, alright, when I say, right, the problem is, yeah, no one's expecting them to beat Nip anyway, but everyone's expecting them to beat everyone else, and I pretty much think it can go that way. They can obviously afford to lose maybe another 1-2 games and still finish in the top 4 and still go to the LAN, and definitely from what I've seen, Scream is more than capable of holding his own at LAN. Where what I was talking about is going to come in to play is when the chips are down. You know, when you're up against it, when you're up against a Nip in a final, you're 14, 8 down, and you need to win all your remaining rounds to win the game. So is Scream going to have that big game experience? Is he going to be Mr. Calm, Mr. Consistent? Can he be relied upon? Not at the moment, no, because he's not had the same opportunities that RPK did, and he's not been in a position to do that. So,
what about when Kenny S came into the team? What were your thoughts about him as a player and him being able to fill the void of? Well, actually, it wasn't really that much of a void because it was the weird roster with Apex and I forget who the other one, Malik or whoever the laptop stealer was. You gotta correct me.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So he was filling a smaller void, but
Kenny S has lived up to exactly what I thought he would be, and that is he's a young player, a Twitch gamer with fantastic reflexes, who's very aggressive in his play style, but I think his attitude is all wrong for the team. I don't think he's a good fit.
So okay, but okay. So you're thinking that Scream and Kenny S are both improper fits for the team?
Well, I'm not. Look, put it this way: with Scream, it's just simply because he's got such massive shoes to fill. I would hate to be that guy who's replacing RPK. You cannot win, by the way. The community are going to give you 5 minutes to be amazing. If the first bad game Scream has, you know, VeryGames have fucked it, you know, they've got a worse player, blah blah blah, he's going to get it in the neck. No, I would just not want that pressure. Equally, if you play well, you've got to keep doing it. You can't have an off day at any point. And you know, in terms of what he needs to be doing for the team, which is, as you say, he's going to have to be the fragger. It's such a tall order to come in and do that instantly, and I don't see who's going to alleviate the pressure within the team. So I think that's what I'm worried about for Scream. Not that he's not good enough, it's just he's not got the same level of experience as RPK, and the minute the community get on his back, which they're going to, they're all saying how amazing it is now before he's actually played a game for VeryGames. First time he plays bad for VeryGames, those same people who are saying how great it is he's going to VeryGames are going to say VeryGames have made a huge mistake, because that's the Counter-Strike community. They're fickle, they're morons.
Yeah, but that's a Counter-Strike community with any team and any player and any roster and just ever. As long as I've known it, no matter what team it is, they'll be your friends one day. When you start sucking, they're against you the next day. And there's very few people that'll stay loyal to their teams through thick and thin. So I think that, you know what, I think that Scream will do a decent job at filling the void. I think that they'll have a lot more success than they had at their Copenhagen Games 2012 scene. I don't know if this will put them to the top and have them topple NIP. I think that if the French scene wants to have something like that, Scream and Shocks have to be on a team with KRL, and I think MBK is still one of the top French players, but I don't see the consistency from Kenny S that the team needs.
Look, with Kenny S, like, just forget consistency. You have him in the side because it's just his exuberance, his brilliance at what he does. The fact that he can hit those unhittable shots, the fact that he can, you know, take down 3 people with an AWP in a second, all of that stuff. But if anyone's going to break rank and not do what Existence says, which is, again, so vital, right, to how VeryGames operate, it's going to be Kenny S. I've been at the lands. I've seen him. He's the one who gets ratty and pissed off when a strat don't go the way. He's the one who starts banging the desk. He's the one who has trouble marshalling his emotions, and he's the one who goes off script. Now, I'm just saying that potentially, I don't think it's going to impact on them, because I don't think anyone's going to get close enough in this league for it to be an issue. But I think long term, when they're going to lands and stuff, I think VeryGames have got some issues that they need to address, and it's not necessarily about fragging and score charts and this, that, and the other. It's that they need people who have the maturity and the experience to be able to fit into a very rigid and inflexible system. And we've seen how even the best players in the world, like Shocks, can't do that. So you know, I do worry about the long-term future, you know.
Okay, that's fair to say.
So I mean, that's my take on it. But look, we've talked about VeryGames for a bit. So okay, they're good for second. We agree NIP are going to win it at a counter. I don't even see them losing a game online, to be honest. Curse have pushed them as far as they're going to go. Third, ESC Gaming. I think ESC are really getting their shit together now, and I like what they're doing. They're working really hard. I mean, Taz impressed me so much at NorthCon, and not a lot did at NorthCon. There wasn't much to write home about, but certainly the way Taz played I thought he was brilliant and has really mastered the game. You know, he's as good as anyone right now who's playing CS:GO. So I think ESC Gaming are going to get there. It's going to be interesting because they've already lost a game. So I don't know, but I think they are going to get there. And I know that out of all the teams that are competing in that league right now, the one team that really, really, really wants to win and wants to do well is ESC Gaming. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Like, they've got a relationship with their fans that no other team has, and their passion and desire to win is pretty much unbridled. Like, I can't even... There's no one it compares to in Counter-Strike. No one.
It's fair to say. But also, Curse down at number 8 spot. They're going to have to crawl their way back up sometime in the next few weeks.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, just look, right, let's look at the teams that we can rule out, right? Asus, not happening. Fnatic, right? Big name, small roster in my opinion. I think their team is just 6s and 7s. I think this season's going to be a write-off for them. I don't really see them having a big impact. Wouldn't surprise me if they finished second from bottom, to be honest.
Okay, Malzahn and Nexus out as well.
Yep. So
and then Faculty.
And Nexus, I think again while they've got like everything we talked about in the cast, so I won't go over it again. But while I think they've got 5 fantastic aimers and real talent, I think they're now so reliant on everyone having a good game, and the minute things start going wrong, no one's got any answer to it. No one knows what to say to the other one to motivate them, to G them up. Mouse, you know, I'm not feeling that. N Faculty, again, great guys, great attitudes, not enough talent to finish in the top 4 in this league. Absolute Legends, I know they impressed me at NorthCon, especially that Schneider kid. Like,
Schneider's been playing really well for them.
Yeah, like, just he is their standout player by like a country mile. So yeah, I mean, definitely. Virtus Pro, they just no, I'm just not feeling it. Look, it's the first time I've watched them. I know what they did at STL, but no, I'm not feeling what they did today. And certainly, if they want to finish in the top 4, you need to be posting decent scores against VeryGames, and you need to at least look competitive, which they didn't. You know, 8-2 up to then lose the game 16-9.
That's pretty rough,
really
actually.
that speaks that you've got some inherent flaws in what you're doing. Either you're not reading the game and adapting as your opponents are adapting to you. Either it's a mood thing, you know, you haven't got the discipline and you start rushing rounds. Based on what I saw, I think it's a lack of tactical acumen and a lack of a real power player AWPer, which I know there's not a lot in CS:GO. They are on pretty, you know, thin supply, but yeah, so they're out of the running. Toxic are a possibility. Curse are a possibility for 4th.
Okay.
And you know, it's NIP, VeryGames, and ESEA. So for me, the most important game in the league is going to be Fragmasters Toxic versus Curse.
And that happens on Inferno in the start of February. I think that's the first time they meet up with each other. First and last time, actually.
And I would back Toxic on Inferno, you know, which is interesting because I think that's one of Curse's weaker maps, and it's certainly Toxic's strongest. You know, we saw that at NorthCon. Everyone was vetoing, you know, Inferno, so they didn't have to play Toxic on it. But when they played it, yeah, I think they won. So yeah, I mean, look,
awesome.
Look, to be honest, on the reflection of play, like, and what I've seen in the league so far, can Toxic keep up a consistent run in the same way Curse have done? I can see them actually dropping games, not just against people who should beat them, but against stupid teams, because they're going to get, you know, beaten on maps or whatever. So. But I just think Curse will just edge it, and I think it'll be brilliant because, you know, Curse have just got that experience. I think it's going to get the 1.6 community's buy-in a bit more. You know, it's just yeah, I think it's just better for the game to have, you know, kind of lesser known, lesser experienced players involved in something that's going to be as prestigious as this ESEA land. You know, it's huge. It's got a huge prize fund. It's going to have all the North American eyes on it, which, to be honest, I don't think we've really had with a lot of the European events because of time zones, just because North Americans don't really follow the European scene in the same way that they did once upon a time. And I just think, you know, you want a team like Curse there. You want players like Natu. You know, the few players we've got left with real experience and real pedigree playing this game, you know, you want them at events. You want your Forests. You want your Get Rights. You know, you want your Bars at Toxic. Although, you know, maybe not the way he's been playing lately, but he's better than me, so I didn't.
I was about to say that. Okay.
But yeah.
So before we sign off, Curse and VeryGames actually go off against each other on Mill next week. So I'm up for casting it if it lies on a date that we can both do it. If you're up for that.
Yeah, I mean, as with all things ESEA, we'll certainly make the time if people want to have the games casted, no doubt about it. And my schedule's pretty busy, but obviously a free hour here and there, no doubt. So yeah, let's do it. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the league kind of shapes up and shapes out. So yeah, I think that will probably be our next game, provided there isn't any in the next couple of days, any stragglers.
Awesome. Well,
right. Well, look, yeah, I will. I'll wrap this up because we've been waffling for about 15 minutes longer than I'd actually planned. First thing, first things first. No, that's me. That's me. Once you get me started, is what happens. Just got to say, been trying to follow the chat while we've been talking. Think it's hilarious that there's people out there trying to pretend that 1.6 has no bugs. Amazing, because the bugs that were in the game were the reason why people were saying we're not going to move over to it, we're going to play 1.5, and everyone thought 1.5 was the better game, and no one wanted to play 1.6. Everyone said it was shit. Now, here we are, years later, new games have come out, and people are talking about how things like Russian walking is a feature. It's a fucking bug. Just everyone got used to it. Like, what? There is no discussion about this. You know, Valve didn't sit down and say, let's put Russian walking in the game. You know, it's stupid. Just guys, come on. It's 2013. Let's just leave the idiocy back in 2012. Absolute idiots. Anyway, it's all over now because 1.6 and CSS, right, is they're retro gaming now. If you still want to play them, that's fine, but it's retro gaming. That's all you're doing. It's like me getting my Spectrum out of my loft and playing fucking Centipede or something. It's retro gaming. So we all need to look to the future. That is CS:GO, and I think we've got lots of positives going on. So let's not talk about 1.6 versus CSS. Let's not even pretend that those games exist anymore. It would just be a lot better if we were just all talking about Global Offensive. I know there's a big update coming. All the top players know there's a big update coming, and all the people who've been crying about the little things, the blah blah blah, it doesn't feel right, the recoil's different, there's no silence, or all the stupid shit that doesn't really matter one jot when it comes to a successful FPS esports title. There's going to be big changes coming, and it's coming sooner than you'd think. Probably first quarter.
And big tournaments.
Yeah, and massive tournaments, not least of all the one that we've been casting. So please, guys, just get over it, right? Can we just stop now? Just stop now. Right, that's me. I am Richard Lewis, the editor-in-chief of cadred.org. I thought I'd say the in-chief bit because I ended on a strong point.
Yeah,
thanks.
Right, huh?
And I have been ably assisted by Josh Steele Nissan, who is a professional player with MTW.
Best player in the world.
One of them, but best Canadian.
Yes. Canadian okay. I'm down. I'm fine with that.
cool. And we're going to be back next time. Don't know when, but do keep an eye on the ESEA page. If there's any good games coming, we'll certainly stream them. Keep an eye on cadred.org. And until then, thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the cast and enjoyed the games. And we will see you next time.
Peace.